Hello and welcome back to another episode of Baseball Night. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined as always by my brother, Jack, who has been having quite the morning with some technical difficulties. Jack, besides the technical difficulties, we got meaningful baseball in the WBC. We got spring training baseball going on for Major League Baseball. What a time for baseball. I just said
This is
baseball
a
like
prop.
5 times.
This is a prop. It's not even plugged in. I'm holding it for the YouTube appearances.
You don't, well,
Um,
now they know you don't have to.
but I'm gonna.
That's weird.
I've been watching a lot of international baseball. I stayed up late to watch some WBC games last night. The Red Sox, we are recording on Thursday, March 9th. So the Red Sox played Team Puerto Rico last night. There has been, like you said, meaningful baseball all the way around, and it shows these games are fun to watch. It's been a fun time over here at the Baseball Night Studios.
Yes. Thanks for putting that down. That was ridiculous. So,
Yours isn't plugged in either. It's just a myth.
so speaking of those Red Sox, who you just mentioned, who beat Team Puerto Rico, but also Team USA lost to the Giants last night, so don't read into it. But what I want to talk about them today is James Paxton went down in his second inning of his first start in spring training. And as we know, Garrett Whitlock is recovering from hip surgery. So the rotation health is an issue. So right now, they are slated with a rotation of Sale, Kluber, Pivetta, Tanner Houck, Cutter Crawford. I like Houck and Crawford. Pivetta is fine as a 3 and 4 guy. I think he's slotted in a perfect spot. I think Crawford is a multi-innings reliever. I think that's where he's strongest, his strength. So I'm just, you have touched on this before, but the rotation health is just terrifying.
Sure is. James Paxton got, I don't know, did he even get an out? Or was it his first batter? Or
No, it was the first batter
inning?
of the second inning. So he went
Okay,
one,
so he
two,
had
three,
one inning. Yeah.
and hit like 96, which is or 5. That's great, but
Yeah.
not the health. The durability is what we're worried about.
No, and to tell you the truth, the other name that you didn't mention was Brian Bayo in his forearm tightness.
Yes. Yes.
Which is really the only name I'm concerned about is Brian Bayo getting back there, because Pete Abraham just wrote an article a few days back that said that he's not going to be ready for spring training, or excuse me, opening day, which is a real bummer. Although Alex Porras said yesterday he's going to start throwing live BP on Saturday. Just pushes him way back behind schedule. Again, I was really hopeful that he'd make the big league roster out of spring training. It doesn't seem like that'll be the case now, which sucks. Again, I wasn't expecting anything from James Paxton. But I mean, it's par for the course. We haven't even seen Chris Sale pitch either. So there's a huge question mark over Chris Sale's health and any kind of longevity for him as well.
So Sale did, he did this week. I don't know if it was Tuesday.
In a game?
Yeah. He pitched 2 innings, and I mean, he did well, but great. You pitched 2 innings in a spring training game.
That is strange that I missed that, but yeah, I did not know that. But he's the biggest question mark. I mean, it would obviously be nice to have Cy Young form James Paxton hitting 95 to 97. What you said is true. It's awesome that he hit 95 in his first spring start and really his first major league action since he got hurt. But you know, is he going to be on the opening day roster? Like, there's just, even if he is, what is the expectation? I just don't see it. The health is a question mark of getting him on the field, but once he's actually on the field, is he going to produce anything?
Right, and that's the same exact thing can be said for Sale, who came out, hit 96 on the gun, had 2 strong innings, and then
where the fuck was I? He hit 96 and pitched 2 innings.
Yeah, it was against the Tigers.
In a televised baseball game?
March 6th. So what was that, Monday? Yeah.
Wow. All right. I missed that.
Yeah. But all well and good until, his lat goes bad. I don't know. So And on top of that, Tanner Houck is coming off season-ending injuries,
Yeah, he
and
pitched the other day. He actually looked pretty good.
yeah,
Hey
I
man,
think he struggled in his very first start, and then who gives a shit? It's your
yeah.
first time touching a baseball against live hitters in the spring.
And then Pavetta. Pavetta had a really good he worked himself into a jam, which I was like watching. I'm like, this is almost by design. He wants to get like high stress pitches in a bases loaded, no out situation. Struck out one, and then I think he got a ground ball double play. But it was he looked good. He looked solid. I've always liked Nick Pavetta. At one point, he was touted as like their best pitcher, which is kind of a bummer. But I think he's a like you said earlier, he's a great third or fourth guy in a rotation.
Yes, the other guy that pitched decent in his first action was Corey Kluber,
Yep.
but he's older. He's not the Cy Young Corey Kluber, and he is starting to get to the point where he has injury history.
So the thing about Corey Kluber is like he was never really. I mean, maybe he could hit the high 90s when in a Cy Young year. I never thought he was like a big power pitcher. He moves
no.
the ball well, so like I'm hoping he just kind of pitches and he just kind of moves the ball like he knows he can. Um, that would be I think that if he can't overpower guys, and to tell you the truth, Sale hitting 96 that early is scary to me. Because I feel like he's going to try all April to blow guys away with stuff that's not there. And he's either going to get hurt or get smashed. But um, yeah, I think for Kluber, he did look good. I just want him to like be a Maddox, be a Greg Maddox, man. Use your breaking stuff, keep hitters off balance. Like that's what I think is going to be best for Corey Kluber in this season.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely should just. It would have been better if he just went out there and people were like, okay, he was hitting 93, 94 to just start. Get
Mm-hmm.
maybe in your fourth spring training start, hit 96. I it's I didn't even think I mean I wrote down Bayo and I wrote him and Whitlock are both going to start live BP this weekend, which is good. Whitlock's starting to do PFPs, which was a huge thing because it was hip surgery.
Yeah, getting off
Uh
the mound.
he'll start on the IL, but probably just pitch in the minors, Whitlock. And
Yeah,
I could see Bayo doing the same thing, or they just keep him in the minors and then you see him in May.
yeah. I don't know if that's a control thing because I mean, I think he was slated to be. I don't know if they were going to use him in the rotation or out of the bullpen, but I mean, he was projected to make their opening day lineup. It's just that it's a forearm thing. You hope it's. I'm glad they shut him down and he's like restrictionless right now, but that's so scary. A forearm tightness is just means Tommy John surgery, which
Right.
is so scary.
I was terrified of that when I texted you guys in the baseball group text, and I was like, we all know what forearm tightness leads to, and
Yeah,
I hated it. And for a 97-mile-an-hour sinker baller, it's like, well, he has to get it.
yeah,
That's what happens.
I know.
Um, but so if they can get Whitlock, Bayo, and Hauk into the rotation, and you can't, and all right, so say Pavetta, Hauk, Whitlock, and Bayo are in the rotation. Sale gets hurt. Kluber maybe stays. Kluber's the fifth guy. That's an exciting young rotation. That's every day you're gonna be like, well, I want to see Whitlock pitch. I want to see Bayo pitch.
Yeah.
Not quite like where it is now, where it's like, oh, Cutter Crawford's pitching. Cool, I'll watch it. Sales pitching. I'll watch it to at this point kind of be disappointed.
It's like watching Grant Williams shoot. Like
Yes,
I have to see this, but I
you
know what's gonna happen.
you were going through all the emotions with Grant Williams this weekend, as we all were,
It
but
was. I mean, I think I said this a number of times to a number of different group chats. Grant Williams made me physically angry at a sports team the other night, and that hasn't happened since Aaron Boone. Like
Oh, I don't
it's
know,
been
Jack.
it's been a long time.
David Tyree happened after Aaron Boone.
That was more sad. That was soul crushing. That was
Yeah,
sad.
true,
That was
true.
sad.
Soul crushing is a good way to put that.
That
Um,
that was devastating. Where watching Grant Williams miss two free. The word free is in what they're called, free throws, to lose the game
yeah,
was the worst thing in sports I've seen since Aaron Boone ran into a hanging knuckleball.
yeah. Didn't help that he said I'll make them both. But moving on to
Let's move on.
a positive here. Ramiel Tapia having a hell of a spring. And again, we say it all the time. Everyone says it. It's just spring training. But if you're trying to make a team, you have to do exactly what he's doing. Hitting 7 for 17, 412, 5 doubles and a home run.
Yeah.
In that Tigers game you just missed, he hit smoked one to the triangle and it bounced into the crowd. And Middlebrooks, as you would say, which I think it's like saying it's spring training for all of us, the announcers. Middlebrooks said, "Oh, Tigers are lucky because if that doesn't bounce in the crowd, it's a triple." At this point, we know what a ball in the deep in the triangle at Fenway means. But then his next at bat, he smoked one over the bullpen for a home run.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah, man. I've been a fan of him for a long time. He's got speed too, like dead speed.
Like
And he
hit
can
a
play a lot of different positions.
and he hit a home inside the park home run that Jaron Durant didn't run after.
Grand slam inside the park.
Grand slam, yes.
Um,
Um, that'll be
yeah, tough son.
that's a funny little wrinkle to the roster.
Yeah, I know. I think I added it to one of the first rundowns we did in the spring where we kind of just went long on something and we didn't really talk about it. But yeah, I think a guy like him and Jorge Alfaro, who are major leaguers who were brought in on minor league contracts, not only have a chance to make the team, but actually start and produce. Like, if you ask me right now, I'd rather see Tapia play center field than Adam Duvall.
I saw Adam Duvall catch a ball on the run, and I was like, okay, good.
It, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday against Puerto Rico?
No, it was a couple days
I
ago.
watched him. I watched him come in on a ball and thought to myself, "Oh no,
Yeah,
oh no, this is going to be the season." Like, remember when Johnny Damon played a very above average, like serviceable major league center fielder?
yeah, I remember him.
That's what we're gonna get with Adam Duvall. Maybe to a lesser extent. Like, and then Coco Crisp came in after Johnny Damon, and you're just like, oh my God, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I always remember with Crisp, there was a play against the Braves. This is how vividly I remember it. He was tracking the ball, dead sprint in the left center field gap, dead sprint. As he was tracking it, Cora at or shortstop raised his fist because he knew Crisp was going to get it, and he absolutely laid out and caught it. And it was just like Cora knew this guy has a beat on this, and it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, like
Crisp
that was one of the players that when any ball was hit to him, you knew it was just going to be like, oh, he's
yeah, that catch to send the Red Sox to the World Series in 07 in the triangle. Phenomenal.
right.
And then
Okay,
he
so
got benched for
yeah,
Ellsbury. Hey, you got to do
back to
what you got to do
Raimel
to win.
Tapia. I think he should make the team, and I think he should make the team as a starter. Be hard pressed to find a
So
guy, you know.
Yoshida, Tapia, and Verdugo.
Yeah, I know they're going to start the ball, but
They
I
will.
like Tapia. Yeah, Tapia is a good option off the bench though, because like I said, he can play any position and he has speed.
Well, so that leaves the bench spot to a backup catcher.
Alfaro.
Alfaro.
No, Alfaro will be the backup catcher.
Oh, Alfaro. Yeah. Alfaro. Then you got the Tapia Ref Snyder debate.
And Duran.
Duran. And then around the
But I mean,
infield.
Tapia can play the infield too.
Can he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played second.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought he was
In
solely an
Colorado,
outfielder.
maybe.
And then here, hold on. Let me
That's
go to
my second
roster resource
Colorado.
for a second. Fangraphs roster resource. There was someone
I'm
else I
down.
was
I'm just going
thinking
off my
of.
mind.
No, I'm trying to think of who the backup infielder. Right now they have Yu Chang as the projected bench. Oh my God, and then I forgot fucking Bobby Delbeck. Oh,
Wow,
we're
so did
moving on.
I.
We're okay. We'll predict what we think for the roster a little later because
Yeah,
we
let the
gotta
WBC
fill
play out.
time. We gotta fill time
Because
here.
there's not, I mean, the meaningful baseball games that are going to be played, like they're playing the Yankees today at 1, um, that's not really going to be a meaningful game. Like
No,
at least for me, I am completely fixated on the World Baseball Classic.
exactly. And they I wonder who's pitching. Oh geez. Now the WBC's in the schedules here. Pavetta's pitching, so I mean, yeah, I'm gonna
I mean,
watch
I'm
it.
going to watch it.
What else am I doing at 1 o'clock today? But
Before I know on the rundown now we have WBC stuff, and I do want to move over there, but we have like odds and ends to get to on the Red Sox. I just want to say that in the 18 at bats that I've seen Tristan Casas take, I am so excited to watch him for the whole year. He
okay.
has.
No,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, I just wanted to say I'll let you finish. My first odds and ends, Casas. I think I'll love watching him hit.
Dude,
Also a baseball weirdo, which is also fun.
yep. Every time he has the same approach every single time, and he doesn't let swinging out of his ass affect that approach.
Right.
That's so refreshing. Even when he strikes out, he struck out. Sorry, I got to fly here. He
Whoa.
struck out 4 times um, this spring and walked twice. But it's almost like he's learning the zone, like learning a major league umpire strike zone as he's striking out, because he doesn't look terrible when he strikes out. And he's not taking that giant cut that most of the hitters on the Red Sox take to have a 220 average. I mean, it's only 18 at bats. He's hitting 444 with 2 home runs, and he's on base half the time. His on base percentage is 500 right now.
Yeah.
That's such a good approach at the plate. And even Middlebrooks, who's calling the games in the spring right now, is saying, for as young as a guy as he is, he has the best approach I've ever seen at the plate for that young. So that's just exciting. What a player to have.
Yeah. The baseball weirdo, I know he like rubs people the wrong way, but they're gonna get over it if he walks a bunch and hits 30 home runs eventually. Then it will be like, oh,
Don't
what a
even
character.
don't get me started. Yeah, that's like the Nuke Lelouch line from Bull Durham. But it, the sunbathing before a game, pissing veterans off on a last place AL East team. Shut the fuck up. But why do you care? I mean, honestly, that's the dumbest shit I've heard. That's Brian McCann stopping somebody from hitting a home run. That is no fun baseball. This
Yeah.
is serious. Like I hated that story. The veterans don't like Tristan Casas. Well, get used to him. He's your franchise future first baseman.
Yeah. The next thing
I hate shit like that.
I
Sorry.
no, it's okay. Next thing I jotted down for odds and ends is, I mean, you touched on it. I'm on team Jorge Alfaro.
Oh yeah.
Wong's injured, so I think he's just kind of gonna play because even if Wong comes back at the end of spring training, they'll probably start him on the IL to get at bats at Worcester.
He is a major league hitter. He can play. He's learning how to play catcher from Jason Varitek, by the way, which is a pretty damn good teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He can play first in DH. I mean, he seems like he's going to be a high strikeout guy. But again, I think he's a major league hitter with major league experience. And I mean, he played in the NL East in Miami. He's seen big time pitching. And I think everybody there is going to love him. I think people in Boston are going to love him. And yeah, I'm all on board. I think I texted that baseball group chat and said, I'll say right now that I'm a Jorge Alfaro.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he won the Caribbean World Series MVP, so
There you go.
he's coming in hot, and I love it.
Meaningful
And
baseball. He's on the WBC. I think he's in Team Columbia.
what a terrible time for Eck to have retired and not be able to talk about his Moss.
Oh my gosh, I know he's got some real Jason Momoa locks to him.
And the final thing I had is recently, as in I think it was yesterday, Chad Jennings had an article on Emmanuel Valdez, and they were talking about how Devers was in a couple hitting sessions with him, and it was like talking about how he likes to swing and he crushes the ball, but he has an easy swing. And then Cora saying he's impressed us so much that I'm not going to say he's going to break camp with us, but I'm not going to say he isn't.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and he's a second baseman. So hold up. If you have what, 24-year-old Devers at third, 24-year-old Valdez at second, 22 or 3-year-old Casas at first, now you're starting to put together a roster I want to watch.
Yeah, but Devers a little older than 24.
Oh, is he 26?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And then like there's other guys in Worcester that they have I mean, the Athletic ranked him 23rd, or Keith Law ranked him 23rd for their farm system. And then just a couple of days ago, Baseball America came out and ranked him 10th. So there is conflicting reports, although Baseball America is taking into account both Casas and Bayo, who I wouldn't really call prospects anymore. Those are guys who are slated to make the majors this year.
Yeah,
I mean, Casas is going to be the opening day starter at first base.
I would assume. Oh man.
Yeah, well, if he goes Justin Turner or Bobby D, he's that's gonna be a tough press conference, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Turner will be the DH if we should
Yeah, he
talk about
will.
him. He took a fastball right to the face, so no breaks, just needed stitches, like missed his eye, just got him
Yeah,
flush in the cheekbone.
took one.
But
He took one.
I wonder if that delays him a little because he's gonna have to wait to get back in the box. But luckily it missed the eye, so maybe there's no vision problems. They just need swelling
Yeah,
and stitches to cut.
he'll get that new Giancarlo helmet, and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching that. Whew, that was rough.
Hmm. Was
At
that on
first,
Monday?
yes.
Huh. Okay, because I didn't watch that game that he got hit. I only saw that clip. There you go. There you go, Chris
Um
Dale. I apologize.
he it hit him and it was like one of those things where Monaco and Will Middlebrooks, you react naturally, like, oh no. And
Yeah.
then he kind of swung around and like sat up a little, and you're like, oh, maybe that just got total bill of the helmet. Then the blood came, and it was like, nope,
Yep.
that was flush. That was tough to watch. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it we have for Red Sox stuff. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna talk about. It's gonna be kind of quick. We're gonna try and move it quick because we want to touch on some WBC things, but we haven't really got to talk about all the off-season moves, and there were a ton. A lot of people moved. A lot of people. We I'm just gonna I'm gonna say excuse me, who the player is and where they went, and we're just gonna kind of go back and forth, good deal, bad deal. So we'll start at the very top with the prize. Jacob deGrom goes to Texas, 5 years, 185 million.
If he can stay on the field, good deal. If he pitches 100 innings, it's a bad deal. Um, he's a lot older to get a deal like that. Not a lot of balls are flying out of Texas, which is a good thing. I don't think they're as good as the Mets, which means he might be in the same exact situation where he goes out and gives up nothing but gets nothing in return.
So in 2019, he pitched 204 innings. His ERA was 2.43. The Mets were a dumpster fire, and he went 11-8. Then you take out 2020 because he pitched 68 innings, which I guess is technically kind of a whole season there. But then 21 and 22, he pitched 92 innings and 64 innings. That's all.
Got to get on the field, man.
That's a fuck ton of money for not even 100 innings.
150 innings, yeah.
All right.
Between the last 2 years.
I'm just gonna say not a good deal. Just
okay, there you go.
I'm not gonna put on any caveats. All right.
Bad deal.
Justin Verlander goes to the Mets, replacing DeGrom for 2 years, $86 million. Jack, quick math, that's $43 million a year. That's NBA
Good
money.
deal, though. Good
Yeah,
deal. Steve Cohen.
I agree.
Steve Cohen don't care. Steve Cohen don't care about money.
It was also 2 years, so you get out of it next year.
Reigning AL Cy Young winner goes and joins a good team. Coming from a good team, going to a good team, just won the World Series, pitching again with his buddy Max Scherzer. Great deal. I think it's a good deal.
I do too. This next
Verlander got better. Verlander got better last year.
Yeah. Well, Tommy John makes you better. All right. I already know we disagree on this one, but let's go for it. Trey Turner, Phillies, 11 years, 300 mil.
Bad deal. It's a bad deal. It's too much money and it's too long for a player who is, in my humble opinion, way overrated for what he is. A fucking fast speed demon who can hit the ball for average. I know you're going to tell me, oh, he had like 25, 30 home runs last year. He's not going to do it again.
Well, he went to a bandbox stadium in Philly.
That doesn't mean anything. I mean, sure. I think that LA gets blown up for like, oh, it's hard to hit a home run in LA at night. But is it? Is it really? Everybody does it. Giancarlo Stanton hit it out of the fucking stadium. Like I don't know. I think Trey Turner is way overblown. I think he set the market for Bogaerts to not come back to the Red Sox because he got 11 years at 31 years old. Like, I don't know. Just, no, not a bad deal. He doesn't do it for me. I think he's a I think he's a speed guy who has had a couple of good seasons. I just don't see it. But go ahead.
The last 4 seasons, his OPS has been over 800.
Wrong.
Huh?
Just don't see it. I don't know. Maybe he's better than I think.
Yeah, I disagree. I think he is a top 3 shortstop in Major League Baseball. I think he's awesome. And I mean, look at it's all make-believe Monopoly money. So I think it's a good deal.
So you think it's a good deal? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, giving someone that long of a contract isn't. But that's just baseball now.
Yeah, I guess.
Started with Trout and Mookie, so that's just how it's going to be.
When they signed those deals.
He's 29.
I thought he was 31. You said he was a year younger than Bogaerts.
I mean, I don't know when he turns 30. He could very well be 30 now, but last year was his year 29 season. But still,
see if that OPS is over 800 when he's 40.
See, that's the thing. It's totally, we're buying now, and Dave Dombrowski's like, I'm not going to be here in 11 years. So what does he care? Next one, Judge for 9,360.
Sure. Great deal.
Yeah. You gotta.
Yeah.
You just, too bad Arson didn't make it to the Giants. I would have loved to see him out, just not on the Yankees. Because I would have rooted.
Who reported that?
Hyman.
Heyman?
Heyman.
Yeah.
Hyman. Come on. It's funny. Anyways, then this one, I actually have a question mark on the Google Doc, and we talked about this in our baseball chat. Brandon Nimmo, 8 years, 162 million.
What a good, I mean, I'm having technical difficulties as we touched on. If you could just pull up Brandon Nimmo's Fangraphs for me, or his baseball reference page.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
More importantly, Tom, just right off the top, give me his career WAR.
his career WAR right now is 17 or 17.9. So we'll give him 18.
Okay.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's a
6,
bad
7
deal. That's a
season.
bad deal.
The other thing, Jack, if
That's
I
a bad
may,
deal.
guess what this stat is? 32, 69, 140, 69, 55, 92, 151.
Games played.
Yes, he's played over 100 games twice.
Good for Brandon Nimmo to trick a baseball club into giving him $160 million.
I just don't get it. This is one
No,
I guess, here we are with his over 800 OPS and 137, 134 WRC plus the last couple years, but it's not a lot of games. Last year he played a full season. I'll give him that. But that maybe the Mets love him. Maybe Mets fans are like, this is a guy that you have to sign. I don't see it as.
no, it sounds to me like it's a classic glue player in a not even a glue player, a fan favorite in a big market that
Yeah.
just gets crushed. That gets Steve Pierce money.
Oh my God, I know. Oh,
Like,
Kodai Senga, 5 years, 75 million to the Mets. This is kind of tough to tell.
yeah, don't know.
I'm sure he's good.
TBD.
Well, I'll probably be able to tell you more after he pitches the next Japan game in the
Yeah,
WBC against Korea,
that's
so
right.
that should be a good one.
That should be a good one. Korea needs that win too. I lost to Australia last night.
So one that, we were talking about jealousy. Sean Murphy got traded to the Braves. Just the Braves are doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves
Just
lost
locking up.
their face of
Go
the
ahead.
franchise and got better.
They signed 8 new faces of the franchise that are all internal guys that they've developed.
Yeah.
Basically, everything we've wanted the Red Sox to do for the past 5 seasons, the Braves have done it. And they're competing at the top of the NL East because they've drafted well, like the Red Sox did. They developed well, like the Red Sox did. The only thing they did do outside of the Red Sox is lock up their young talent long term.
Yeah.
Strider got a deal. Michael Harris, no, the second got a deal. Like all of these guys, and like multiple, like 6 to 8 year deals.
Yeah.
Austin
Well,
Riley's there for a long time.
every deal is team friendly,
Yeah,
but
and player
also good
friendly
for the
too.
players.
Yeah, that
It
is
just,
MLB The Show franchise strategy. Draft your high overall guys, and you sign them while they're in the minors to 10-year deals.
there you go.
Braves no, Braves
GM,
no.
GM Jack. All right. Then Carlos Correa signed with the Giants, 13 years, 350 million. Then he signed with the Mets, 12 years, 315 million. It's 50 million the first time, 350, then 315. 1 year and less money. One less year, and more. Oh my God. One less year and less money. Whew.
Made that needlessly convoluted.
And then he signs back with the Twins for 6 years, 200 million because his ankle or leg is being held together by Bazooka Joe.
I still think it's a good deal.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think Correa is it's mind numbing. Granted, he does have an injury. It is mind numbing to me that he got less money than Trey Turner. I mean, granted, he wasn't going to, but yeah, I think it's a great deal for the Twins. I'm surprised it's the Twins. It probably should be the Giants and the Mets, but
Well, that means something's really wrong, and in 2 years he might just not be on
be
the
out of
field.
baseball.
Yeah. Because
Well, that would suck for him.
that was like the Giants signed him and it was like, oh, weird. The Giants are super analytic-y, and I was like, maybe they're just being weird. And then the Mets did it. Steve Cohen was like, boom, here's $300 million. I don't care. And then they were like, oh no. So
Yeah,
that's a bad sign. And then the one that really, really sticks in my craw, Carlos Rodon, 6 years, 162 to the Yankees.
It's a great deal, and I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah. So now it's Garrett Cole, Carlos Rondon, and Nestor Cortez, 1, 2, 3. That's tough to beat in a series.
Sure is. Severino too. Like
Yeah.
they the one thing that the Yankees needed, they addressed with
And
another frontline starter.
they might be getting a franchise shortstop in Anthony Volpe coming up. And then the final one I wrote down, Dansby Swanson, 7 years, 177 million.
I mean, I know he's the number one pick. I just don't see it.
He did the classic awesome contract year, but to me, it's like that deal's over here because
Probably the
you're
best
on the
Twitter
Cubs.
name, probably the best Twitter name of all time,
What is it?
Lieutenant Dan's. But
Celtics voice is pretty good.
Lieutenant Dan, really funny. But yeah, just I again, yeah, he had a big contract here. Good for him. I don't think the Cubs are going anywhere unless, yeah, I just don't. I don't know. That's a tough division for them.
Um, yeah, that's all I had. I don't know if you had any that I missed, but those were the big ones.
I mean, we've already talked about the guys the Red Sox brought in, so
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break and we're going to talk about what's been going on with the World Baseball Classic so far. Jack, we're back. And the first thing I want to talk about is I wrote this down. I was taking my notes last night during the Celtics. And I just wrote down first thing for WBC. I miss Bogarts. Then I wake up, I watch that first game, then I wake up, you can't, nobody got time to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch these games. And I wake up and he, in game 2, has 3 hits, including a double and a home run. And kind of dominated in the field.
I did have the time, and I stayed up and watched those games last night. Again, not because I set out to watch baseball till 2:30 in the morning, more so that it was on and they were kind of exciting games, so I just watched them. I sent the very first thing I said when I woke up this morning was, "I miss Bogarts. He's already in mid-season form, and I think he's going to have a massive year." Um, it was that's so funny. That was my exact first thought too. Was, oh man, I miss him because he's an all-star shortstop that is in the prime of his career, and he's the best player on his team. And in the 2 games that he's played, he's the best player on the team.
Yeah. It was funny. I watched him and I was watching that first game and he got 2 strikes on him quick. And I was like, fucking, this guy just fucking loves hitting with 2 strikes. It frustrated me as a Red Sox fan because I was always like, this pitch is going to be, they're getting it over. They're throwing this first pitch to get a strike on you because you let them. Every now and then he would swing, but he would actually also always pop those up because he was like, all right, first pitch fastball, I'm swinging. But yeah, I miss him. He's the best. I think I was actually thinking if the Red Sox had any humor, which they don't, next year, not this season, I think next year the Padres come to Fenway. When he walks up, they should play Baby Come Back as his walk-up song. But they won't because no one has their funny bones anymore. The next thing I wrote down, which doubled down on it today, Cuba, I feel like should be better. They're 0-2 now. They just lost to Italy.
Yeah, they're having a bad World Baseball Classic already.
I love that Luis Robert and Yohan Moncada got to play. Like they let major leaguers go back. Normally with the defections, they were like out. But I wonder if it's they had all this major league talent like Moncada and Roberts, and they were playing amateurs. Now in the World Baseball Classic, you go up against the Dominican Republic and the
Yeah.
United States.
Well,
Even
yeah,
Venezuela
they're
and Puerto Rico, full of
they're
talent.
not even. So is Japan and Korea, but
Yes.
they're not they're not even getting to those teams. Like, no offense intended, but I don't think anybody thought the Italian national baseball team would beat Cuba, or even who was the other team that beat them?
Panama.
Panama. Yeah, um, Panama has a ton of major leaguers, but Cuba has been a powerhouse in international baseball for a long time. But yeah, it's odd to see them struggle like this, and it happens to it happens. I mean, it's baseball, right? Like, you can have a couple of bad days that'll kick you out of a tournament or a playoff. Like, and it's really a big fear of mine going into the U.S. full play. Like, they're playing Great Britain on Saturday, and it's just like they should win. They should win that game. But
I was thinking that same thing about the US, but then I was like, the the pitching just can't be up to snuff. Like,
no, well, that's what. So I'm sure we're going to touch on it here in a little bit, but there is a line in the sand on some of these pitchers from some of the teams who have gone so far to Shohei Ohtani, who pitched this morning, who I watched pitch this morning, who everybody else is high 80s, low 90s. And Ohtani's first pitch was 98 letter high. And the poor Chinese batter who he was facing looked like, oh no.
yeah.
When I go against live BP, it's 85.
Yeah. Let's just talk about that now. Ohtani, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 5 Ks, also a 2-run double.
Yep.
It's been said, it's over talked about to the point where I think people are sick of him and they should not be.
No.
But he's the guy you create in a video game. I have 100 power and I can throw 100 miles an hour.
Yep, he did touch 100 today as well too.
When that happened, the announcers were like, "Oh wow, 100," and you heard the crowd.
I was just the best part about the entire thing so far has been how crazy the Tokyo Dome crowd was. They were losing their minds. First off, it's funny to me that the biggest star in Japan is not even Shohei Ohtani; it's Lars Nootbaar. But when first off, when Shohei pitches, Japanese crowd does not make any noise. It is stunningly quiet.
Our Aunt Judy went to Japan, and I think she went to a game, and she said to me, "It's strange. They're really quiet." And I was like, "That can't be true." But yeah, when the pitcher is pitching, they're quiet to let the Japanese pitcher concentrate. So they must. I wonder if in NPB they do that for the home pitcher. I wonder if that is just.
They must. Yeah.
I was like, the announcers touched on it and said it's eerily quiet.
Yeah.
Like, one of them said, "I feel like I need permission to talk."
Yeah, Jose Mota. I have some notes here too that I think all commentary teams have been fantastic.
Oh, the Australian guy, I love him.
Ryan Rowland Smith. He's great. Yeah,
bringing the energy. It's great.
Yeah, I think they're all like that. They've all been great. That's what I have. I watch probably, admittedly, too much Japanese wrestling, and their biggest show of the year happens in the Tokyo Dome, where they're currently playing baseball, and it's so crazy to have a place that big get that loud for a baseball game. Like, it's just so exciting to me, because the only other time I've ever heard it is during a wrestling match. But when they're batting, when the Japanese team is batting, they are the opposite of quiet. They are singing songs. They sing songs for every player. They have noisemakers. It's an awesome environment to play.
Yeah. Did you see Chinese Taipei had cheerleaders on the dugouts whenever they were batting?
Yeah.
And
my favorite part of the whole entire thing has been Horn Guy from Cuba.
You and I are on opposite ends of the world on that.
Oh, I love him.
Oh, he's funny. I don't need the horn.
What was funny is during the Panama-Netherlands game, he was sitting in the seat right behind home plate, not moving an inch, just literally sitting there watching baseball. And it's like, oh, he is conserving his energy for when Cuba plays.
Oh, um, and then just one last thing, the Australia Korea game was awesome. Now I didn't
Yeah, it
stay
was
up,
awesome.
but MLB's YouTube page for a few years, they do a 10-minute condensed version where you like don't miss anything.
Yep.
First of all, I would have killed myself with all the replays had I watched it. But Australia coming out swinging those big lumber sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Loved it.
was it and the whole like uh the whole game, it was pretty much like these scrappy Australians, like they play in Australia baseball, and basically the announcers were doing their best to say Korea is going to win this game, but
Yeah.
Australia is doing their best. And then, man, like Korea hit some big home runs too, but yeah, Australia just did not give up a single at bat, and you can tell. Again, going back to like the crowd in the Tokyo Dome, how fired up the dugout got on both sides with runs stored was awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great to see that. Like, especially in March, we're seeing like dudes, I think in a Panama game, like diving into the bag, a couple of plays at the plate. Um, Earlier in the China Japan game, the catcher for China blocked the plate. It's been great so far.
Yeah,
I've loved it. It's
hell of a
been
relay from right field in that first inning to save China for the time.
I'm going to be completely honest. A bad read at third base. That was a short fly ball to right field.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've loved it so far. I think that it's even brought like none of those uh, Caribbean or those Caribbean island countries, aside from Netherlands, have played yet. Which the crowd in Miami is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah,
And
part of me wishes that was played. Miami might be the right spot because how do you pick between like Santo Domingo or Venezuela?
I think they nailed all four spots: Tokyo, Taichung,
Yeah.
Miami, and Phoenix. I think they nailed all because again, like Phoenix is going to be the Group D,
Hmm.
right, or the Pool D with the U.S. So it's in the U.S. for home games. Mexico's in that pool. Like
Yeah.
it's a good spot for it.
That
Like that'll be
game
crazy.
is already sold out. US Mexico for Sunday is already sold
I
out.
bet, dude. I imagine that that's going to be a heavy Mexican crowd.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a tough one not to stay up for, which I'm definitely going to regret Monday.
What time does it start?
10.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
Great Britain and US start at 9 our time
9.
on Saturday. All right, so hold on. I'm getting the baseball book. I'm going to stump your ass.
Oh boy, here we go.
So, the nation's newest game that's sweeping the nation. Um, I've been saying the same word a lot. I had a year picked out in my mind, but I didn't flip to it previously. And I honestly can tell you, I don't know why I picked this year. It just popped in my head. Okay, here we go. So the year is what? Let's see. Johnny Bench wins his second NL MVP award. Chicago's Dick Allen wins the AL MVP.
Okay.
The Washington franchise moves to Texas and is renamed the Rangers.
Okay.
Steve Carlton wins the NL Cy Young.
Oh boy. Okay.
Gaylord Perry wins the AL Cy Young. Um, do you have do, do you need some more? Where I could go some more.
Um.
I could. There's two that really hone in the time frame here, but I don't know if you want to try and take a guess, and then I can maybe tell you the World Series isn't even the biggest clue.
Yeah. If I knew more about when that franchise moved to Texas, oh man, I want to say. 1973.
1972.
Damn it! Oh,
Reds A's was the World Series, so that would have put you in
okay.
the 3-year window for the A's. So that's 3
Yeah.
years. But the real giveaway, not even a huge giveaway. Again, I just read a book about this person, so maybe that's why it was a giveaway to me. It was the year Roberto Clemente hit his 3,000th hit and then died.
I would have gotten it. Yeah.
So Tom 1, Jack 0.
Oh boy.
Wow, you were super close.
I thought I was on it, man.
Wow, I wouldn't have. That was impressive to get. If I had said 70 or the A's thing, what was it? 72, 73, 74 they won? Yeah. Oh, that was fun. All right, Jack.
Yeah.
Well, we got a whole nother. I gotta tell you that the night early morning thing is tough for these games. I mean, Thea cried at 5:30 this morning. I wanted to sleep more, but I was also like, Shohei's pitching right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna sleep. But
it was the first thing I did when I woke up this morning. Was normally we don't turn the TV on before school, but I said, well, Dad is gonna watch some baseball this morning.
Yeah.
And put on Shohei.
But we have some baseball to watch, and actually, by the next time we talk, the U.S. will have played a couple games. So and DR, so
be 2-0. Well, they'll probably play more than 2 games. They'll probably almost be done with their pool, right?
Yeah,
next
probably.
Thursday.
Yeah, but until then,
you know what we didn't touch on is well, I guess we can end it now, but we didn't touch on some of the pitching restrictions, which is really like throwing people off. Like if you go, you get 65 pitches max, and if you go over 50, you have to take a 4-day rest.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Where did Shohei end up? He was like right around there.
Oh, I don't even remember it.
He started that last inning with 30-something pitches, so maybe stayed under it, but I'm sure the Angels are like, he's not pitching till pool play or till the elimination round.
Okay, yeah.
And they probably won't have to. I mean, they wouldn't.
No.
They'll win again. I mean, they play the Czech Republic at one point, which I can't wait to talk about them next week because they are legitimately teachers and like laborers, and it's the best.
Yeah. The guy who hit the first home run for Australia last night was a former Phillies prospect, and he played in the Australian Professional Baseball League. Currently is a fireman.
There you go.
Just the best.
All right, Jack. I will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.